I had that book open because I never came back to. No, I did. I just did now. It was laying there all. Don't let me rub off on you, girl.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I wonder what the problem is, though. I think I told you there was some.
Yeah, better to have it on the record.
Did you? Did you see on the news that there was an Uber guy that has his dog
They
in the
were
front seat,
approved for
and
what-
everybody loves it. He takes him out.
Yeah, I planned it.
Really?
And he gets bit. He says his tips are up 10-15.
Now 6:30, the January 15th work study session will begin. We'll start with Christmas home decorating contest winners. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, once again, we're here in December, or in January for the December 25th awards for our Christmas competition for the Case Commission. Every year they do a great job in organizing that competition and then ultimately voting on it. I know the voting always gets very difficult because we have so many of our residents that participate energetically and obviously do a great job on their lawns and homes for the holiday season. So we'll start, I would like to get Robin Craig also up here. She's our case chairperson. I'm going to hand you these. You want to stand there and I'll give them to each. Okay, so we award each year the top three, and we'll start with the third place winner. And this year's third place winner for the home decorating contest is the Rosses and Fur Baby family. So this isn't the only dog that was involved in the competition. We had some sheepdogs there that were very inspirational, I guess, for this family. So if you want to come up and get your award as well as your certificate, gift certificate. Okay, I'm going to get a picture with everybody. All right. Like that. Congratulations. All right. Thank you for this.
You didn't see it. I said to my husband,
Okay, coming in second place is Kevin and Kimberly Beaudry and their pup, who has their own celeb D. They've got their own trading card. Congratulations.
Fit for the picture.
Oh my! You guys should give this
Give a card to PetSmart.
wait, sit. Go to sit. It's a treat. I can't do that. I can't burn my tongue.
I have to say, this is the first therapy dog that I've received a trading card on, so. Okay, coming in first place, and again, it was a tough competition, but they made it to the first place is the Hughes family. A round of applause for the Hughes. They didn't bring the dog, but they brought their children.
I could have brought the dog.
All right. So here we got a couple of the guys on this side.
Don't step on the dog's tail. When you want to look.
We also have a Halloween competition. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Move on to the officials reports. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you once again. The Southgate Bank Tower project is continuing to move forward as witnessed by our most recent tour of the development last Wednesday. Since it is an active work site, I appreciate the developer, Alex, begin providing the time for all of the elected officials to witness the progress on the site. For months, we have witnessed the transformation from the exterior of the building. This latest tour allowed a comprehensive look at the interior. It is quite impressive, but most importantly, the project is on schedule. There are numerous apartment floor plans ranging from studios to 2 bedrooms. The top and main floors will also feature spacious 2-story units. Best wishes to Alex and his team as they work to bring this new housing option to the residents of Southgate and those throughout the Downriver area. This past week, we received our first accumulation of snow for the season. It is fairly to assume that there'll be more coming before spring arrives. So I'd like to remind our residents that when a snow emergency is called, it is extremely important that vehicles be removed from our neighborhood streets during the declared times of the emergency. Snow emergencies are announced on our official City of Southgate Facebook page. Local television and radio stations are also advised. If you signed on to our Code Red, and I'd recommend all of our residents to do that, you will also receive a text alerting you to the snow emergency that is in effect. Vehicles that remain on the street during these times are subject to ticketing and, if need be, potential towing. It is certainly the preference of the city and our public safety and DPS departments that our residents remove their vehicles rather than face a penalty, so the departments can concentrate on removing the snow efficiently and effectively. So let's work together as a community, do our part in clearing our streets and providing a safer environment for everyone after the snow falls. The 2025 State of the City Address will take place at Crystal Gardens Banquet Facility on Thursday, March 30th. I'm sorry, January 30th, not March. I'm already into the next quarter because we're going to be talking about some other things later, but January 30th on Thursday, last Thursday of the month. Once again, it will be hosted by the Southgate Rotary, with proceeds going to their high school scholarship fund for our local high school students. I look forward to reporting on the progress that this great city has made in 2024 and the important projects in store for this year. One of the most significant announcements will be regarding a major infrastructure investment. It is an issue that my administration has been working on to address for the past 14 years and will positively impact nearly 6,000 of our residents. As in the past, the State of the City Address will be streaming live during the address and will be available on our YouTube channel 24/7 after that. Tickets are available through my office or by contacting Mr. Steve Ollis of the Rotary at 734-658-8991. 734-658-8991. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
A little bit of a tease there. Just
Madam Clerk,
No report.
Mr. Treasurer.
Good evening. Just to make everybody aware that the taxes your winter taxes are due by February 14th. If you haven't paid your summer taxes, you should pay those by February 14th as well. If you do not pay them by February 14th, then they go to the county for collections. And it's much easier to deal with the city to make an arrangement than it is to deal with the county. So make every effort to get them done and paid by February 14th. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Erich.
Madam Chair, I do have a Parks and Rec report I can share. The Parks and Rec Committee met on Thursday, January 9th, and I have a few updates. The Learn to Skate classes session 3 starts this Friday along with Saturday classes. There is a hockey tournament January 17th through 19th, and the ice arena will be closed on January 20th for Martin Luther King Day. The Southgate ISI competition is February 22nd and 23rd, and forms are due January 25th. And the banquet hall is booking rentals, so if anyone is looking to rent the hall for birthday parties, showers, etc., they are accepting them. And more info can be found on deposits and bookings by visiting southgatemichigan.org and navigating to the Parks and Rec page. And then the Recreation Master Plan is going to be on the agenda for us tonight, so looking forward to that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Roush.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The Library Commission meeting met last week. A couple of updates on they have their adult winter reading program started started on January 6th. You can still sign up for that. You collect bingo cards and sheets, and then to win prizes, and it goes on through March 20th. There is a youth Lego event on January 28th at 4 o'clock. There's also a mental health program they're setting up from January 22nd. And then they're also looking for kids and teens to create artwork to display in the library. You can submit an application in through the library at the main office, or at the main desk there. And they're searching for a new librarian. They had someone quit, so they're going to be interviewing for a new librarian soon. And they're also going to be taking, they're looking for specifications because they're going to be looking for new furniture. They're going to take bids on new furniture soon. So that's they're going to do that too. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Graziani?
No report.
The school board did meet yesterday. They did some of the beginning of the year updates like committee assignments and financial pieces, but the biggest thing of the night was our North Point International Baccalaureate School, our pilot school, is officially certified now. So they are officially an IB school. Congratulations to all of the staff there. It was a few years of hard work to get officially certified, so congrats to everyone at that school, including my best friend who's a second grade teacher there. Public safety did meet today. On the police side of things, the Public Safety Academy started on January 9th. For the next 7 weeks, you can go to the library from 9 to 6, or 6 to 9, sorry, and you can learn about different pieces of our public safety. There will be 2024 awards for some of our police officers that will be recognized in the first February meeting, city council meeting during the work study. And then on the fire side of things, our fire department applied for 2 grants, one in the ladder truck and then some new radios. So we'll know if we got those more in the spring, summer area. That's all I have. Councilwoman Ayers-Reese.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The planning committee meeting met Monday, January 13th. They reviewed a site plan for a proposed coffee shop at 12554 4th Street. It's called City Coffee House. So I'm looking forward to that. They did approve it, contingent upon some requirements that needed to be taken with the, let's see, for the fire department review, lighting plan, and building department approval for proposed signage. They also elected this year's election of officers. So the Jim Yost was the chair again, and our co-chair is Mark Nemeth. The secretary is Linda Clark. So congratulations to all of them for continuing on the planning commission. We appreciate it. The admin report was brought to us by Dan Marsh, where Aquinas, the development is on hold at the moment. They are looking to possibly sell the land, but we don't know as of yet. Right now, it's on hold for the apartments and storage and gas station. The Oasis Senior Living Center is underway and the work has begun, so we're looking forward to that getting completed. And then Atwell Suites, that we're going to open up another hotel. They did some boring samples and the ground was too moist to actually hold what they were intending to put on that piece of land. But they are looking to open up another hotel in that hotel district within Southgate. So more to come on that. Okay. And then just for me, with Martin Luther King Day coming for Monday, January 20th, I want to give a few of my favorite quotes from him. The time is always right to do what is right. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. And life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So, that's it.
Thank you. For City Coffee House, is that the same one that's in Allen Park? Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Okay, thank you. Councilman Golick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Downtown Development Authority did not meet yet this year, but we're looking forward to our first meeting of the year. And then I'd also like to echo the mayor's comments about the Southgate Tower tour that we took last week. We were able to take the pink elevator, if you know what that is, all the way to the top. And what a view that is of not only downtown Detroit, but south all the way to Monroe. And so for a piece of property that we had trouble getting the grass cut on just a couple of years ago, this is a great investment that the developer is making in the city. And he stayed for a half hour, 45 minutes, just answering questions of all the elected officials and others that were invited. So again, thank you for inviting us and setting that up. That's all.
Thank you. Mr. Marsh, please, for the agenda.
Okay. Thank you, Madam President. Good evening. The first item on the agenda is the bid for the City Hall Parking and ADA Improvements CDBG project. The Wayne County administers a CDBG program, and communities apply for grants for local projects. This specific project was applied for in March of 2023, and the award was made in the summer of 2024. The goal of the project is to create dedicated parking, including handicap spaces for the City Hall building. The loop will be removed. The parking loop that's currently in front of City Hall will be removed, and 10 parking spaces will be installed directly in front of City Hall. Additionally, a service window will be installed on the north side of City Hall, which will allow people to make payments without having to get out of their car and use the drop box. This project will also relocate Veterans Parkway, which the city is working to have included as a local road. With the relocation of Veterans, there will be a small reconfiguration of the library parking lot, but the library will not be losing any spaces with that reconfiguration. During this project, the library will also get some concrete work done near their entrance. If you've gone in, you know the sidewalk, there's a little chip that it needs to be replaced, and so that will also be replaced as part of this project. Ultimately, these changes are going to provide much needed additional parking and dedicated parking to City Hall. Currently, there's about 8 parking spaces you can get if you use the loop. None of those are really ADA friendly. And if you do need to park in a dedicated handicap spot, the closest ones are in the library parking lot, and you have to walk a ways to get here. So this is gonna correct that. Great Lakes Contracting Solutions provided the lowest of 9 bids received, and the administration's recommending that they be awarded. The cost for the project is $736,076.55, of which the county is paying $489,720. So they're going to be covering the vast majority of this project. The remaining amounts will be paid from a combination of roads and library funds. This work is expected to begin in March and be completed by the end of June. Prior to the beginning of the construction, there will be a pre-construction meeting with Great Lake, with the awarded contractor, and a timeline of the construction will be determined, and any disruptions to the City Hall access will be discussed, and a plan will be put out to the residents both online and at City Hall about how to access the building during the construction. Are there any questions regarding this project or this bid? Okay, seeing none, moving on to scheduled hearings, we have one scheduled hearing, and that's for the Recreation Master Plan. This plan has been available for public view since October 18th, and it was sent digitally to council prior to the December 18th meeting. Chris Nordstrom, who's with our consultants, Carlisle Wortman, will be here to discuss the master plan and take any questions from council. After the scheduled hearing, the first item under Communications A is a request for approval of that Recreation Master Plan. Are there any questions from council? Okay. Moving on, the next item is a request to secure electronic tech solutions for IT software support services. IT Director Rucker received 3 quotes for these support services, and ETS provided the lowest quote. ETS is a local company with over 15 years experience working with Southgate's IT infrastructure. The software support services vendor is important because they are the city's licensing provider for the different software that we use. So think about all the Adobe, Microsoft, virus protection software. They're our licensing provider for those. They also ensure backup for any time the IT director is out or if he needs assistance, and they provide they assist with cybersecurity for the city. So they do a lot of functions for us in support of our IT department. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none, next is a request for approval of the March Board of Review dates and Board of Review member compensation. The administration is recommending a resolution approving both the March 2025 Board of Review dates and the compensation as presented by the Deputy Assessor. Are there any questions from council? Okay, the next item is a recommendation by the administration to approve the 2025 poverty exemption guidelines as recommended by the state of Michigan. We have the exemption guidelines and the application for approval tonight. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. Next is a request to waive the bid and extend the current contract at its current rates with Flow Air for heating and cooling maintenance for a 2-year period. Flow Air won the competitive bid in 2018, and they've kept their rates the same since that time. Any questions regarding that item? Okay, seeing none. Next is a request to waive the bid and award Flow Air the installation of new exhaust fans and carbon monoxide sensors at the ice arena. The ice rinks get a lot of use in this fall, winter, and spring. And with that use, there's a lot of required ice maintenance and resurfacing. So the installation of these new exhaust fans will improve the air quality for everyone that's using the ice rinks. So that we can continue to use the Zambonis and ice maintenance machinery. Are there any questions from council on that item?
Through the chair.
Councilman Gulick?
Mr. Marsh, is there any disruption to the use of the arena while the work's being done?
No, there shouldn't be any disruption. The last item under Communications A is the approval of training course fees for the police department. Police officers are required to attend 24 hours annually of continuing professional education in-service training. And the administration is recommending approval to send officers to Oakland Community College, where there's going to be a CPE training taking place January 29th through the 31st. The training is going to include a variety of topics, including mental health crisis, dementia safety, ethics, and law enforcement procedures. While there's state requirements for our officers to get this kind of in-service training, these specific topics will also help us with our continued pursuit of remaining an accredited department. Also, the state provides the funds to cover these costs. Are there any questions from council? Okay, seeing none. The last item on tonight's agenda is under ordinances, and this is the first reading of a disruptive behavior ordinance. The addition of this new section will allow a way to penalize disorderly individuals without issuing a disorderly conduct misdemeanor. The ordinance has been reviewed and recommended by the city attorney and the public safety director. As this is the first reading, there's no action required tonight unless council chooses to waive the second reading and approve the ordinance as stated tonight. Are there any questions from council regarding that item? Okay, seeing none, that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll reconvene at 7 o'clock. We'll begin. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilman George is excused. Councilman Roush?
Here.
Councilman Erich?
Present.
Councilman Golick?
Here.
Councilman Cuspa?
Here.
Councilman Graziani?
Present.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
Present.
I need a motion to approve the work study meeting minutes dated January 2nd, 2025.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion we approve the work study meeting minutes, January 2nd, 2025.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated January 2nd, 2025.
Madam Chair.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion, we approve the regular city council meeting minutes dated January 2nd, 2025.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Golick. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. There are no scheduled persons in the audience. One item under consideration of bids, a letter from the mayor regarding award the city hall parking and ADA improvement CDBG project. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the city engineer, and I concur, to award the bid for the City Hall parking and ADA improvement CDBG project to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions of Waterford, Michigan, in the amount of $669,160.50, with an additional 10% contingency of $66,916.05 for a total of $736,076.55. Great Lakes Contracting Solutions was the low bidder of 9 bids received. Wayne County sufficient funds are available in the street funds for the remaining amount not covered by the Wayne County CDBG funds. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair.
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion that we award the bid for the City Hall CDBG parking and ADA improvements project to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions Incorporated in the amount of $669,160.50, plus 10% contingency in the amount of $66,916.05 for the total amount of $736,076.55.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. There's one scheduled hearing, a memo from the administrator regarding the public hearing for City of Southgate Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Madam Clerk.
At the December 18th, 2024 council meeting, City Council approved holding a public hearing to consider comments from residents concerning the proposed Parks and Recreation Master Plan. The proposed master plan received approval from the Parks and Recreation Commission during the October 26th Parks and Recreation Commission meeting. Parks and Recreation Director Julie Goddard and Chris Nordstrom of Carlisle Wortman and Associates, the city's consultant, will provide a summary of the proposed plan for your consideration.
I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing regarding the City of Southgate Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion we enter into the public hearing for the City of Southgate Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion or objection? Public hearing is now open. I know administration or Director Goddard or someone has a presentation first to give.
Good evening. My name is Chris Nordstrom. I'm a landscape architect and planner with Carlisle Wortman. This is the second recreation plan I've worked on for the city, and it's very encouraging to see the progress that's been made in recent years. Tonight, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of why we're doing this and some of the highlights from the plan itself. The primary reason for doing a recreation plan like this is to provide guidance for planning for the next 5 years. So this will cover you through December of 2029. The realistic reason for doing this is it makes you eligible for grant funding through the state. When you have this plan submitted to their website, you're eligible for grants to the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund, the Land and Water Conservation Fund, and the Recreation Passport Fund. Those funds can provide up to $300,000 for the Michigan Natural Resources Trust Fund, up to $500,000 for development, and unlimited for acquisition and the Land and Water Conservation. We held an online survey running from May 20 through June 26, received 179 responses. And what we heard was basically the same thing we heard before, that maintenance is the top priority for your residents. They want to make sure that your parks are well maintained, safe, and a pleasant place to go. People wanted to see more access to passive use, so things like playgrounds, that kind of thing. 56% of the community said you have the right amount of parks. But over a third said that you have too few or far too few. That just kind of indicates that you might want to keep your eye open for opportunities as they present themselves. I do think that you've got a lot of properties right now that need to be brought up to the level that you want it to be before you start looking at acquisition. But if the right property came along, that might be something you'd want to consider. Desired improvements were updates to the play equipment and improved pathways within the parks and between the parks. Desired programming was special events and concerts, youth sports, and aquatics. We had a number of recommendations that I'm not going to go through all of them because you've got a lot of parks and a lot of options that are coming in. But some things that were really exciting was the addition of a Miracle League field here at Homer Howard Park. Putting in, resurfacing the tennis courts that are over in the corner there, making it so that it's got pickleball courts, which people love, and paddleball, which is new to me, and I know that's something that people are getting really excited about as well. Kiwanis, having a new sidewalk running along Trenton to connect to the new bank tower, which is going to have its own park. So again, sounds very exciting. And a lot of other smaller maintenance issues, making sure things are accessible, that your equipment is connected to each other so everybody, regardless of their ability, can enjoy the parks and recreation properties that you have. So with that, I'd open this up to you for any questions for me. And if you have no questions, I'll retreat and answer questions from the public.
Thank you, Mr. Nordstrom. Is there any comments or questions from council?
Through the chair.
Councilman Gulick?
Yes, as I looked through the large document, which was available, I didn't print it all because I didn't have enough ink. But a lot of the information that was determined is a lot of the repairs or replacements are because of ADA accessible reasons. And I guess shame on us for not doing that a long time ago. Like you said, if we can get grants to cover some of these costs, that's an awesome way to go. This administration is always looking for grants and opportunities to have someone else help us out. And so we appreciate that you pointed that out as well. And then the other thing I noticed was, I think Julie pointed out the varied experiences at each park. So one park might have a ninja course, and one park might have the tennis and the paddleball, and so each park isn't a duplication of each other. So we're allowed to get more bang for our buck when we are purchasing that type of equipment. A couple other things that was pointed out was volunteers or friends of the park. Not sure how we police the parks, other than I know the Recreation Commission takes a tour of the parks every month and reports back to Julie if there's any deficiencies. But that was a good item that I noticed in there. And then the last thing was the comments from the community. Like you said, maintain the existing, what we have. Let's upkeep it on a regular basis, whether it's cutting the grass or emptying the trash or whatever. A lot of them talked about restrooms, and if we have one, is it available? And if we don't have one, maybe we need to have one. And then, like you said, the bike trails to make the parks accessible and connected to each other. And the last thought was 5 or 6 people recommended that we don't have any parks north of North Line. So folks in the north end of the city really don't have that opportunity unless they're willing to take their kids to a park in the southern part or central part of the city. So those are some of the highlights I saw. I've been on the Parks and Rec Commission before, and I've been on the City Planning Commission, and I know how important it is to have this 5-year plan available to the public to see, as well as for Julie to use when she's applying for her grants. So thank you so much.
Any other comments or questions from council? Any comments or questions from the public here? No? Okay. Any other notes from the administration? All set?
No, thank you.
Before I step down, one thing I neglected to say, as I said, I did the previous plan for you, it was about 7 years ago, I believe. I'm really impressed with what Julie has done, and she deserves some real commendation. It's a difficult job. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things you have to pay attention to. And I know when we sat down for the first time, I said, well, I remember this park has to be addressed. She said, oh, yeah, I took care of that. Well, there's another park where, yeah, we already took care of that. And I saw that when I went through and did my tour. So I just want to commend her for a job very well done.
Thank you. Okay.
Madam Chair, I'd also like to commend our residents who decided to vote for our recreation millage that allowed some of this, or most of this stuff to happen, because it's the first new millage the community has supported in 20 years. So again, they're interested in investing in our recreation options, and we appreciate it well. And Julie has done a great job of bringing a variety of things to this community to follow through on that pledge.
Thank you. If there are no more questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the City of Southgate Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush?
I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion or objection? Public hearing is now closed. First, Communications A, first item under that is memo from the administrator regarding Parks and Recreation 25-29 Master Plan request for approval. Madam Clerk.
The proposed Parks and Recreation Master Plan involves the input from the Parks and Recreation Commission, interested citizens, city staff, and the city's planning consultant, Carlisle Wortman and Associates. Therefore, the administration concurs with the Recreation Commission and recommends the Parks and Recreation 2005 to 29 Master Plan be approved.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Gulick?
I'll make a motion to adopt the attached resolution approving the proposed City of Southgate's Parks and Recreation Master Plan for a 5-year period of 2025 to 2029.
Support.
Motion by Gulick, supported by Ayers. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is letter from the mayor regarding IT software services agreement. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the Director of IT, and I concur, to approve a 3-year agreement with Electronic Tech Solutions for IT software services in the amount of $5,365 per month. The Director of IT received 3 quotes, and Electronic Tech Solutions was the lowest. Costs associated with this service will be paid for from the general fund. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion that we approve the 3-year agreement commencing February 1st, 2025 and expiring January 31st, 2028 with Electronic Tech Solutions, ETS, in the amount of $5,365 per month for IT software services.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a memo from the Finance Director regarding the March 2025 Board of Review dates. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above with the Deputy City Assessor and concur with their request for City Council to approve the March 2025 Board of Review dates and the Board of Review members' compensation as presented, as well as the amount for additional expenses. Adequate funds are available in the appropriate assessing department budget.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers.
I move that we approve the March 2025 Board of Review dates per the Deputy City Assessor's memo dated January 6, 2025. The Board of Review members' compensation in the amount of $200 per day or $100 per half day, and the amount of $200 per day for additional expenses.
Support.
Motion by Ayers, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is an amendment from the Finance Director regarding the 2025 Poverty Exemption Guidelines and Application. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above with the Deputy City Assessor and concur with their request for City Council to approve the 2025 Poverty Exemption Guidelines and Application. The poverty level amounts are based on guidance from the Michigan State Tax Commission and federal poverty guidelines.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chairman,
Councilman Roush.
I make a motion, we concur with the administration and approve the 2025 Poverty Exemption Guidelines and Application based on guidance from the Michigan State Tax Commission.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Gulick. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a letter from the mayor regarding heating and cooling maintenance. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the acting DPS Director, and I concur, that the city waive the bid procedure and extend the current contract with Flow Air Heating and Cooling in the amount of $52 per hour Monday through Friday and $78 per hour Saturday, Sundays, and holidays, and Monday and Friday after 5 p.m., along with the seasonal maintenance of spring $7,950 and fall $7,950 for a 2-year period. Sufficient funds are available in the various departmental budgets to cover costs associated with these maintenance issues. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Graziani.
move the Southgate City Council waive the bid process and approve a 2-year extension with Flow Air Heating and Cooling Incorporated of Southgate, Michigan commencing February 1st, 2025, and expiring January 31st, 2027 for heating and cooling maintenance services at their current fee schedule rate from the original contract that was awarded back on May 16th, 2018.
Support.
Motion by Graziani, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Next is a letter from the mayor regarding ice arena heating and cooling system repairs. Madam Clerk.
It is recommended by the Parks and Recreation Director, and I concur, to waive the bid procedure and award the installation of new exhaust fans, carbon monoxide sensors, and unit heating at the ice arena to Flow Air Heating and Cooling, and a total amount of $35,805. Sufficient funds are available in the Parks and Recreation Millage Fund to cover costs associated with these items. Your favorable consideration of this matter is requested.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Arich.
move that the council waive the bidding process and approve quote 1883 in the amount of 23,895, quote number 1834 in the amount of 6,795, and quote number 1812 in the amount of 5,115 from Flow Air Heating and Cooling for ice arena heating and cooling repairs.
Support.
Motion by Ayers, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Last is a letter from the mayor regarding police training courses fees. Madam Clerk.
I have reviewed the above and concur with the Public Safety Director's recommendation to authorize payment to Oakland Community College, Oakland Police Academy Training Center in the amount of $6,375 for required training for Southgate police officers. This training will be paid with the continuing professional education funds received from the state of Michigan. Your concurrence on this matter would be greatly appreciated.
What's the pleasure of the council?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Gollett.
I make a motion that we approve the police training course fees in the amount of $6,375 to Oakland Community College, Oakland Police Academy Training Center, to be paid with funds provided by the state of Michigan for this required training.
Support.
Motion by Gollett, supported by Roush. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. No items under communication B. There is one ordinance regarding the proposed disruptive behavior amendment to chapter 670 of the city code. Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the code, disruptive behavior civil infraction code amendment. The code would amend the codified ordinances of City of Southgate in the following general offenses sections: 670.10 disruptive behavior. Any person whose conduct or activity causes a disruption to the good order, health, safety, welfare, or peace of the public, including law enforcement of the City of Southgate, including but not limited to being loud, boisterous, quarrelsome, vulgar, threatening, or disruptive, which the police determine not to be criminal in nature, is responsible for a municipal civil infraction subject to a fine not to exceed $500 together with court costs. I make a motion that we waive the first reading and adopt the ordinance as the second reading.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Gollett. Any discussion?
First reading, give it the second reading.
Wait, the second reading, correct?
Yeah.
Clerk got
Is that
that,
what you said?
so
Yes.
Okay.
clerk gets everything.
Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Any old business the council would like to discuss? Seeing none, is there any new business the council would like to discuss?
Madam Chair,
Councilman Ayers Reese.
I just have a quick question for it. With January 20th coming in the inauguration, I know there are some areas that are raising their flags from half-mast, and I know ours is at half-staff, rather. Just making sure that we're going to continue that in honor of President Carter.
It's a governor's order, so you would have to find.
Yeah, our DPS follows they get the instructions on when to raise it full or have it half-mast, so they'll continue to do that through,
For
on
30
the
days.
20th, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other new business? Seeing none, I'm going to unschedule persons in the audience. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address council, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll move on to claims and accounts. Councilman Roush.
Move to approve warrant 1513 in the amount of $1,138,515.63.
Support.
Motion by Roush, supported by Ayers Reese. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman Ayers Reese.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
Motion by Ayers Reese, supported by Gollett. Any